because of social media, has a comedian now had more influence than they did 30 years ago? So go back 30 years ago. Who was the face 30 years ago?
Eddie
Who
Murphy.
was the Eddie Murphy?
George Carlin. I mean, George Carlin is my favorite of all
George
time.
Carlin, me too.
And he
That's my
progressed.
favorite.
Yeah, and he
Richard Pryor.
But would you say they had the same amount of influence, if not more, than today, or is today's top like take today, Chappelle?
Yeah.
Does Chappelle have more influence today than Eddie Murphy had in the 90s?
I do think he does because, but again, entertainment has been so atomized. You know, I mean, social media is about getting your attention. There are so many different avenues. You're competing with so many different ways to. And I think about this for a second, like music. Let's just take music. Music has become more of a consumption. It's become something that you would digest. You listen to while you're driving, and then you're waiting for the next tune. So now you've got Doja Cat, you've got these different people that have, you know,
Good for you
music.
knowing the hits these days.
Yeah. You know, I'm young, but I don't know that. I don't know that any musical group, maybe Kanye is an exception, I don't know, but like the influence or the impact something like Led Zeppelin had, or Lenny Bruce had, or George Carlin had, when the collective mind was focused on 4 channels, there wasn't that much expression. You had to also earn. You had to earn so much of the experience. You had to wait for that right time, turn the TV on. You couldn't miss it. Hurry up, it's starting. You know, it was that thing. There was no recording or anything. So when you watched it, you got to watch it once usually, and it had such an impact on you.
What's the Tyler, what is that article? Did we read that article a couple months ago, or maybe I read this, where it said, as popular as Tucker is today, 50 years ago, there was a personality in U.S. that had 75 million listeners on a daily basis because there was only 4 channels. Did we read that article or no?
I don't think it was on here.
No, not Cronkite.
I'll give you an example with myself.
Yeah.
In 2000, I was doing a TV show. I think it was 2001, whatever it was, and Inside Schwartz. When I was doing the Goldbergs, that was a hit for ABC. It was the biggest show on ABC. I think maybe 6 million people would watch it. That was their number one, I think, TV
It was.
show.
The Goldbergs with Jeff
So that
Garland?
was 6 million people, okay? I did that show for almost 7 years. Then I did a spin-off with my character, and we probably got 5.5, 6 million people. That was a big deal. That was a hit, right? When I did in 2001 or 2, I did a show called Inside Schwartz, which was getting, I think, 15.5 million people to watch, maybe more. We got canceled because it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
So back
15 million?
Oh yeah, dude. Because Friends and Will and Grace were getting, 25, 30. So that just wasn't enough for the network. They were like, "Oh no, we got other shows." So that's how we were so focused on one thing. And that's the biggest challenge, I think, in many ways for us as a society. Even think about how Christianity in the United States was almost like the focal point of our ethics, our morality, our justice system, the way we related to each other. In God we trust. You said prayers in school. That was never controversial, even though there was this notion of separation of church and state. It was still a Christian nation, quote unquote. Try saying that now. So now there's no fixed point of truth, I think. There's no fixed point of attention. And that comes with great things, but also its own challenges.
So to Pat's question,
that was a long way of answering.
I think you're saying that basically 30 years ago, the top comedian or the top voice, or whether it's the Walter Cronkites of the world, did have a bigger voice. I mean, think about it. If in the 90s, how honored would you be to go on Johnny Carson?
Oh my God!
Did you ever go on?
It would change your whole life.
Yeah,
I did Letterman
overnight, dude.
Yeah.
If you go on Jimmy Kimmel today, does anyone give two shits?
No. It does nothing for your career.
That's the point.
Yeah,
that's the point.
Yeah. But I do think that having said that, the world is also pretty polarized. So it might be atomized, but it's also polar. We got teams, man. We got Wokistan, we got Trumpistan, and then we got a lot of us in the middle who are kind of like, hey, dude, I'm not with this gender Nazis. I don't even know what they're talking about. I believe in the free market. I like to own my guns, but I don't want spree shooters. Most of us are kind of like trying to get through life. And I think when you have a guy like Dave Chappelle, who comes along and says, hey, man, I'm all for equality. I'm a black guy. I get it. But you guys are crazy. And then you get a small pocket of those people who are like, they're not interested in equality. They're just like, how dare you? And everything else. You know, so it may seem like but he has influence. He's who we're talking about. Why? Because he took on the transgender thing, right?
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.